Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we got the nectarine that Alphinaud wanted, and she informed us of what it was for. Which basically, since all of the patients at the inn were those that were essentially infected by the Sin Eaters and slowly undergoing the change to become Sin Eaters, that not only would be a danger to everyone around them, but also apparently a very painful process when they finally tipped over, that the procedure was to provide them with a last meal of their favorite foods that would be laced with poison to euthanize them. And that the nectarine was Ulrich's favorite meal, the young Alphinaud boy who we had met, who was obviously in the later stages of being converted. So, upon returning to the inn, we had a meal, chatted up with Tesleen a little bit, and then the patients began to be disturbed for an unknown reason, and Ulrich ended up disappearing. And upon investigation, we noticed that a powerful Sin Eater had appeared in the area, and Ulrich had apparently responded to it, and it had encountered him. But before we could intervene, Tesleen did, chopping half of its wing off, but then got stabbed in the back. And this caused her to rapidly undergo the Sin Eater transformation, which was a relatively disturbing process, to say the least. And after all of that, Alphinaud, understandably upset, wanted to leave and come back to the Crystarium to try to find a way to put an end to all of this once and for all. So, that is kind of where we have arrived. So, we are back here in the Crystarium. And we now need to go meet up with Alphinaud and see what he is up to, which, if we remember what the Crystal Exarch had said, that he was trying to get in touch with the city of Eorzea in Eorzea to try to forge an alliance of some sort against the Sin Eaters. So that's where we're going to be heading next. So we're going to go ahead and get to work on that. Now, I have gone ahead and taken care of most of the side quests in the Crystarium. So they are all done, because it mostly, well, pretty much all of them were just running around and talking to people, not really doing much. It's just kind of get to know the Crystarium type of quests that, similar to the ones that you get if you start the game as a fresh character at level 1, you get all those quests in the cities that kind of let you run around and just familiarize yourself with the layout of the place, which is kind of what all of the side quests here are for. So, let's go ahead and talk to Genmai here. We need to present a letter of introduction to him. Alright, your face is unknown to me. What business have you at my rookery? We have a letter of introduction addressed to him, signed by the Exarch. Signed by the Exarch, no less. Yes, I can provide you with an Alphinaud for passage to Eorzea. I will pick you out a friendly whelp. And there I was expecting a chocobo. Oh yeah, because we really haven't talked much about the Alphinaud. There are these creatures here. They're kind of a strange creature that looks like a chocobo, but kind of has some almost camel-like features. It's interesting. A chocobo? Do you hail from one of Norvrand's more isolated settlements, perchance? I hear there are a few places where they ride little else. But here in the Crystarium, mounts like that gray fellow there are far more commonly used. Seeing as you are plainly unaccustomed to riding Amuro, I think it best I accompany you on this flight myself. Any Zune worthy of the name could do it, of course, but the Exarch sent you to me. Ensuring you arrive safely is my responsibility. Gather your things and meet me at the Amuro launch. One of the junior tamers will attend to you while I ready the mounts. Alright then. Yeah, these guys here. They kind of have these little humps on their back and these horns and kind of a strange head. Alright. So we're going to be heading to the Amuro launch. And talk to the Amuro trainer. Alright, you want to fly an Amuro to Eorzea? Well, I suppose if Master Genmai is going with you... Wait here, please. The Master should be along with the mounts shortly. You can now travel to Eorzea, speak with the aspiring Amuro tamer to fly to the island. Alright then.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
Alright, so yeah, this is the Limsa Laminsa analog here in the first. Alright, let's turn this in. We arrived. This is Cracked Shell Beach on the eastern coast of Eorzea. You should be safe here for the present. Compared to the mainland, Sinister attacks are far less prevalent, and the native beasts are not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It is the people you should be wary of. Spy you that city in the distance? That is Eulmore, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale and was once an ally in our battle against the abominations. For years, the Eulmoran elite have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of other settlements their protection, if we bend the knee. But to say their ideals are questionable will be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavy-handed authority, and while we are not at war, our relationship with Eulmore is strained at best. It may be wise to conceal your ties with the Exarch during your stay here, especially in the vicinity of the city. I'm glad we understand each other. Now, the Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely. Okay. So, what is it? If you head south along the coast, you'll eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crystarium lives there, a man who goes by the name of Ivor. Ivor keeps an eye on everything that happens in Eorzea and will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme that will let him know you can be trusted. Here, this should be enough. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amuro until you are ready to return. Alrighty then. Hobgoblins, I'll try to avoid those guys for the moment. Well, as much as is possible. Otherwise, we'll just ride past them. There is the fisherman's hut that we are looking for. Let's see if anything wants to continue to chase. Nope. Good. Right. What are you after? Fish? Crab? I think I've got an eel in a barrel somewhere, if you have a taste for them. Crab sounds good. Oh, I do love a bit of thyme. Chuck some in the pan, and it's like a bloody festival of flavor. Now, what is it I can do for you? Can't say there's been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. Alphinaud, eh? Aye, I know the one. Our young champion of the downtrodden. Yulemore's richer than all of Norvrant put together, but it's a different story for them as live outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. I can hazard a guess as to where he is now. Get a message to him. But you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Make for Stilltide. That's the fishing village just up the path there. You're looking for a run-down excuse for a tavern the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there, and I'll see that Alphinaud joins you. Alright. So we'll head on over here. There is an Aetheryte in the town, so we'll go ahead and hit that first. Okay, now we just need to figure out which of these buildings. I think it's this one here. We need to go. There we are. This your first time in a tavern? It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What'll you be having? Ale, mead, or water? Water? Ale. A fine choice. And what'll you be paying with? Gil? Well now, those are exotic. Where'd you come by coins like that? I'm sorry, dear, I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity, and I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbors, so we'll just have to come to some other arrangement. Here's an idea. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What do you say to a bit of extermination work? I want you to squash any vermin you find, then visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on the job. He'll be in the old silo next to the fence, snoring, like as not. Do that for me, and you can laze about here as long as you like. Alright, I'll go kill some pests, I guess. Should be in this direction. Oh, yes. Ether current. I might have to fight for it, though. Indeed. Should probably get my chocobo out here. just to make things a bit quicker. Alright. So here is the common, I guess they were talking about. And there's appear to be crops growing here. Alright. What do we got? Some grain and some vines. Pestilent Swarm. Alright. Alright, that is down. Alright, here's another blighted crop. Let's see if we have any more pests. Indeed we do. 2 of them, in fact. Excellent. Alright, there we go. That's been dealt with. So now we need to go to the silo. I guess that's what this is. Knock on the door. No response. Maybe you need to knock louder. Alright. Knock again. No response. Perhaps the occupant is hard of hearing. And again. You hear a faint squeaking from the room beyond. Time to burst in and save the day, brave adventurer. No one is home, and judging by the lack of furniture, they haven't been for some time. The gnawed scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats have taken up residence in their absence. Alright then. Well, it seems that whoever used to live there doesn't anymore. Alright, I guess we will bring that news back to Thiva here. Alright. Welcome back, dear. What did that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? He wasn't there. Gone? Must have left to join the rest of the hopefuls. In Gate Town, outside Yulmore? You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there I was thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw another drink on the house.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Tis good to see you, my friend. The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alphinaud, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Eorzea. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
Me? I was more worried about you. Sure.
Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before. I see. Both the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Eorzea's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Eorzea himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin-Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure? And so we take to the road once more.
Alright then. So I guess we're going to try and find our way into Yulmore, which I guess is what Alphinaud has been working on for a while now. And see if we can't make some sort of arrangement. Alright, so let's go ahead and pick up the quest here from Alphinaud. That's going to give us a waste gear. Still 385, so not better than what we have yet. Alright, assuming you have no objections, let us make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, we may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to set foot in Yulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come, from here we must head west and then cross a small bridge. But first, we have side quests. We may swing by and do them later. For now, let's just keep following the main story quest for the remainder of the episode, which will be just a few more minutes. And then probably next episode, we will start working on those side quests, same as we did in Amareng. Alright. There's Alphinaud. Eorzea seems peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar? I had a similar impression of the Crystarium. Even in this distant world, people are much the same. To think that whenever a calamity struck the source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. No, get away from me! There's someone screaming. Over there. Quickly, someone's in trouble. Alright then. A Calusian iguana? I don't think that is the problem. This would be a structure here. It would appear to be a sin eater. Oh, thank the fates. Look out! I'm not even going to worry about those AoEs. They barely hurt. Alright. There we go. Hopefully she's okay. My poor heart. Thank you, young miss. There you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings, but I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you alright, madam? Just a few bruises from where I fell, nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left to hear me scream. Not that I'd let that stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Yulmore with the rest of them. I doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier. Thank you again. You saved my life. Now I'm sure a strapping lass like you has little to fear, but I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories. "'Tis as the lady says. Many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Yulmore's shadow. Should the Sin Eaters descend upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fight them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters?" Well, we had a pretty detailed experience. Yes, I'll only say Alphinaud would be well qualified to speak on the subject. Compared with Amareng, Calusia is almost a haven, but as you saw, we cannot let our guard down. Had you arrived but a few moments later, the Sin Eaters would have claimed another victim. Still, we have won a small victory this time at least. Now, shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west. Alright, so that will take us to right outside of Eulmore. So I think this is probably actually a good place to go ahead and stop for the day. Someone else is on the same quest we were. So yeah, we'll go ahead and stop here for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and head back to Stilltide because we're going to do some side quests there next time before heading over to Eulmore and seeing what's going on over there. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.